Hello, and thank you for joining us today in our study of the book of Psalms. Today we're in Psalm 49. This psalm by the sons of Korah is one that focuses in most specifically on matters of life and death and the relationship that we have with God, but also the recognition that we can't get away from what's to come. So let's look at what they say in Psalm 49. Beginning in verse 1, we read, "Hear this, all peoples. Give ear, all inhabitants of the world, both low and high, rich and poor together. My mouth shall speak wisdom, and the meditation of my heart shall give understanding. I will incline my ear to a proverb. I will disclose my dark saying on the harp. Why should I fear in the days of evil, when the iniquity at my heels surrounds me? Those who trust in their wealth and boast in the multitude of their riches. None of them can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to God a ransom for him. For the redemption of their souls is costly, and it shall cease forever, that he should continue to live eternally and not see the pit. For he sees wise men die. Likewise the fool and the senseless person perish, and leave their wealth to others. Their inner thought is that their houses will last forever, their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man, though in honor, does not remain. He is like the beasts that perish. This is the way of those who are foolish, and of their posterity who approve their sayings. Like sheep they are laid in the grave. Death shall feed on them. The upright shall have dominion over them in the morning, and their beauty shall be consumed in the grave, far from their dwelling. But God will redeem my soul from the power of the grave, for he shall receive me. Do not be afraid when one becomes rich, when the glory of his house is increased. For when he dies, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. Though while he lives he blesses himself, for men will praise you when you do well for yourself. He shall not go to the generation of his fathers. They shall never see light. A man who is in honor, yet does not understand, is like the beasts that perish." Here in Psalm 49, you have a discussion of what takes place or what the relationship is between God and man, and not just an individual man, but with all men when it pertains to life and death. And there are several things here in this text that we can take and use to better understand our relationship both with each other and with God as well. Let me show you what I mean. First of all, in Psalm 49, you have this mentality that he is talking to all men, whether they're rich or poor, whether they are good or bad, it doesn't matter. All men have the same issues that they have to deal with, and they face the same constraints in their life. And one of those is we each are going to stand before God on our own merits. He says in verse 6 that those who trust in their wealth and boast in their riches, none of them can by any means redeem his brother nor give to God a ransom for him. One of the things that is oftentimes the most difficult for us to understand and for us to accept is the fact that ultimately we are each responsible for our own actions. There is no amount of money that even the wealthiest person in the world can pay that is going to redeem somebody else, that is going to save somebody else who makes the choice to do what is wrong and to not repent. There is nothing that we can do that is going to change where somebody else is situated. We are each responsible for our own actions. Now, we can contribute to whether or not making the right choices is easier or harder. We can contribute to whether or not we are influencing people toward right or toward wrong. But ultimately, I can't do anything. I can't pay enough. I can't settle the score enough. I can't do any of those things that is going to impact where somebody else is in eternity when it comes to their relationship with God. I can't do it for my wife. I can't do it for my children. I can't do it for my brothers or for my parents. I can only do it for me. I can only have the relationship with God that is built on my actions and my deeds. He says, "For the redemption of their souls is costly, and it shall cease forever." The only way that my soul is redeemed, especially living where I do now, not living under the Old Testament times looking forward to a coming Messiah, but the Messiah has come. The only way I can be redeemed is through the blood of Christ. And that is a relationship that only I can enter into myself. I can't force somebody else to do it, and I can't do it for them. And so, first of all, in Psalm 49, we see the mention and the point that we are each responsible for ourselves. Secondly, beginning in verse 10, he talks about the fact that it doesn't matter who we are, we're all going to die. It doesn't matter how long we live, everybody's life reaches that same point at some time. He says, "For he sees wise men die," verse 10, "likewise the fool and the senseless perish." Doesn't matter whether you're wise or whether you're a fool, whether you're good or whether you're bad. The same ending comes to everybody. As much as we might try to deny it, as much as we might not like it, as much as we may fear it, it's still going to be the same thing. And when that happens, everything goes to somebody else. Solomon spends a great deal of time talking about this in the book of Proverbs and Ecclesiastes. But, here the sons of Korah state that in verse 11, their inner thought is that their houses will last forever, their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Nevertheless, man, though in honor, does not remain. Even the richest people who name everything after themselves, who put all of their trust in their wealth, and they think their name and their household and their possessions, they're all going to last forever. They all face the same conclusion, and there's nothing they can do to change it. All men are going to die. And so, if I can't change somebody else's relationship with God, and all men are going to die, then it's up to each and every one of us to make sure that our relationship is right with God, that we have done what God has commanded, because we are all going to face Him. The final thing I want us to notice is down at the end of the psalm. Beginning in verse 17, there the sons of Korah write, "For when he dies, he shall carry nothing away. His glory shall not descend after him. Though while he lives, he blesses himself, for men will praise you when you do well for yourself." Here the sons of Korah are in essence saying, you can't take it with you. It doesn't matter how much you accumulate in this life, how much riches, how much wealth, how much prestige, what honors you receive, you can't take it with you. When you die, it is just about you. What you have done, who you are, and what your relationship with God is. The rest of it just goes on to somebody else. Just carries on to the next generation. When you look at Psalm 49, it is an important measure of the distinctions of life and death, and the fact that we are all going to die. And so our measure is not how much we accumulated while we lived, but how we lived in our relationship with God. These are some of the things that I've seen in Psalm 49. I hope that they're beneficial to you. Next time, we'll come back and we'll begin examining Psalm 50. I hope that you'll join us then. Thank you for watching today. And until next time, have a great day.